dun. Dun dun. Welcome, 0 viewers. Oh dear. Baby is asleep. And I've got jack all else going on today. So we had a plan. We were supposed to be somewhere till 2, and then we were going to come back and do shopping and stuff like that. But we weren't able to do what we were supposed to do, and then the baby fell asleep. So we're back a little bit early. Ooh, actually managed to sell something. That's pretty cool. Now, this character isn't allowed to kill anything. So technically we have failed the challenge because of the mob that we had to kill in the entry zone for this race. But I think we have herbalism and mining. Yeah. Journals down here. Cataclysm and classic. There we are. We'll keep an eye on the classic. Cataclysm and classic. Keep an eye on the classic. Going to smelt some copper in a bit, but we actually need to do some herbs. So herbs is biggest one in terms of leveling fashion, because we can't always smelt them all and stuff. And it is actually a lot easier now. So historically we wouldn't have been able to pick brews until back in actual classic, rather than being just the classic version. So there's a mechanical. That's what we really need to avoid. We don't have sap yet, I don't think. And we don't have vanish. So we literally just need to run away. Like that Mitchell brother, what did them SAS programs, I can't remember what his name is. Still believe. There we go. I think that was 50 back in classic. I did play classic Burning Crusade, but I think it was the legacy one. Look at all that. That there for a leveling patch. Oh, I'd love to level it all. Now what we've got to figure out here is, can we get to those? No, I don't think we can. Can we try? We could. Do we want to try? Why don't we want to try? Well, we haven't got a full kit yet. And I don't get very much time to play in, so I'm incredibly rusty. To the point where I think I've stopped raiding now. Plus, there's no real incentive to raid. For people who, oh shit. For people who have other commitments, and you're not in an established guild, or you're not established in a guild, it's actually really hard to pause. Stuff like that is going to annoy me more than not being able to pick that. What was I doing? I was rambling about being established in a guild. So obviously Blood Pact is sort of faded away now. Like nobody plays it regularly. You still see people pop on here and there, but nobody really plays it regularly. And if they do, they play the storyline, say hello to say hello to and then that's it really. So, which is a shame. We've been going since 2008, 2007. So, but joining a new guild when you're sort of like if you want to raid and stuff like that, you kind of need to be a hardcore raider that can invest the time in. Otherwise, what you generally tend to find is there's an apathy in the guild where the expectation is very low. They go, oh, we're not going to get enough people to do a raid, so we're not going to make sure that our character. And I get that because that was kind of how we felt towards the end of Blood Pact. That's why put yourself through all that hard work and just sort of grind it. You're not actually going to be able to experience the content until it's easier to get that stuff. So yeah, I get that with small guilds. I like small guilds because it tends to be a bit but the guilds that I tend to find I do the best in are ones split off from a bigger group. So you've got a raid group and some sort of strife happens in the, people get at each other's start their own guild. I end up in there with them for whatever reason, usually because I use the guild finder. They're just there. And then you do a few low level keys. They're happy with that. You can kind of get your characters ready for higher progression. You do a few runs, and then that tends to be it, really. Always get to mythic. You have a couple of people that are like, I think that the item level cap realistically is 288 at the moment. I think you can get 290, but I think the items that your best in slot items put you at 288. What you generally tend to find is those people, there's nothing for them in any of these mythic raids. They're already best in slot and they just go to do the content, and they get really frustrated when they hit a barrier. Like they're working towards something, that's great, and then that barrier is a little bit more firm. Maybe there's a skill issue with one or two things. I didn't realise, I'll give you an example of this from my point of view. I didn't realise that one of the mobs in Mythic, what's it called? Void Spire, which one is it? I can't get that one. Okay, this one. So there is a mob on Mythic Chimeras has an ability that you need to kick in his air phase. There we go. Is it this? So it's the caster one anyway. Haunting Essence, Fearsome Cry. That's the badger. So this one here is the one that you need to kick. You need to kick it. A hard stun, I don't think works. I think they're immune to hard stuns. They're not immune to movement. They're not immune to interrupts. But if you move them, that does not interrupt. I did not realise that. And then I was one player in particular was quite rude, and I was like, "Hey mate, I can only do in a raid where there's 20 people, you kind of like one player not knowing a thing but still doing a thing." So I was gripping it, death grip into the mob, and then there should have been somebody out of those 10 players, well 9 other players, that had the presence of mind to go, this guy is fearing after he's been death gripped. Do you know that they don't interrupt, or I'm going to use my interrupt for this one. So while I accept it's my fault, still provided the opportunity for that issue to be brought up. Now, once I did figure that out, I was fine. But the party, the composition, the group of people still could not kick 4 casts in a row without being feared at least one of the times, which is absolutely ridiculous. So it didn't matter that I wasn't sure, because other people were letting their casts go off, and it turned out that there's a couple of people there who thought that they had to interrupt everything, so they weren't just interrupting the effect, they were also interrupting the normal cast, which I thought was hilarious. And instead of saying to these people, okay, we know what we're doing, right? We can accept that mistakes have been made by 8 people out of 20. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just say, don't worry about it. Now everybody knows. Run through. Death grip doesn't interrupt, and you only interrupt the don't interrupt the standard cast. Crack on, everybody. Enjoy. And technically, we'd have got the boss down. We should have got the boss down. The more people that clued into the issues, the better we got to, within like 10% of taking them down. And then like a healer would randomly drop maybe. One time the tank was tanking them a little bit too far out. You can't do stuff like that on Mythic. It's fine on Heroic. I say it's fine on Heroic. It's not as bad on Heroic. Mythic, no, you have to tank him in the right spot. Everything needs to go almost perfect. You can go 99%. One person miss a cast or something like that, as long as one person's got the ability to cover it up. So one of the fearsome cries, for example, if you've got shaman in your group, they drop a tremor totem, the fear is dispelled, everybody goes back to normal. Tut, let your interrupt go back to normal, make sure that you get it the next time. Fantastic, you still get it. Sadly, none of that happened. These guys decided to not raid in instead. So instead of going through these problems and just saying, yeah, these are the issues, you need to make sure, well, I've already said what they should have said. Instead, what they did was they went, right, that's it, we're not playing this game anymore with you. Not me, like with the other members of the guild. So 4 of them go off with somebody else. Now, I don't want to say too much about these people, but they were the highest geared players with the lowest number of interrupts. So you tell me who's most likely to have cocked up those things. And blaming people who are undergeared or with a lack of knowledge just isn't my thing. So I've taken that as, Lex, you're too old to play these games with these children. Don't. So I think I've done my last mythic raid, which is a shame. Hopefully, I mean, it's hard to say whether I enjoy this anymore. It's a bit like Project Zomboid. You go through, you catch up with all the new stuff. And then maybe you revisit one of your challenges. So I did a Pacifist challenge 60 back in whenever it was that they started the stat squishing. So after maybe Cataclysm was 85, Pandaria was 90. It was a stat squish after Pandaria. Was that Warlords of Draenor? I did a 1 to 60, which is probably what this is going to be, given that when you go to Silvermoon, all the kills are shared. So you can't physically go to. I mean, you can't on this character a mob to get out of your starting zone, but when you get to the end game, you can't complete a Pacifist either. Because of the shared kill thing. So if you fly over a zone that has shared credit, like a quest area or something, you fail the challenge. Which means that there's less challenges that we can do. Like, that shared credit thing is great when everybody's stood in the Sarkov in the Valley of Trials at level 6 or whatever. Absolutely great. Tag it, bag it. Everybody can get on with their day. But if you're doing certain trials, Pacifist being a prime one, or if you're doing an elite only run, or if you're doing I think I saw there was a guy doing an undead only. I think he's a paladin. Only kills undead, and he's trying to get to level 60 just killing undead. That's great. You can't do it on this though because you get shared kills. And because you don't I'll stream all of this, so as far as I get with this, I will stream it every single second, so you get to listen to me rambling on about the state of the game as it is at the moment, what I don't like about it. Too negative. It is quite difficult to be objective without sounding negative, especially when you're saying things like actually what I should say is I pop on Classic every now and then, but I'll probably play it as I just said, like Project on pop on when they've got updates. Maybe do the first raid tier of raids after. So maybe come on. LFR has come on. Mind you, LFR is boring as well. It used to be that at the beginning of LFR it was a bit like going into normal raid with your guild for the first time. Nobody knows what they're doing, and you have to work it out. But now it seems like the LFR is delayed so much that people who are going in already have so much experience, and they're completing it for whatever reason. Maybe get some what is it, hero crests and crap like that, like the tokens that you get from it. I know I used to do it. Not so much. They don't seem to do the bags that they used, but they used to do these bags, and you get like 1,000 gold, a couple of augment runes and stuff like that for playing a class. So I could sit there and I could just do LFR all day and make like 10k gold. Back when that used to be. But also sitting in a queue is a bit better actively doing stuff. So what I'm doing at the moment is okay, and I do like a farm and grind occasionally. Don't like. Is that fair to say? Yeah, sit in the queue for the tank bags. You go in, you do your thing, and your gear wasn't so far advanced that you would be able to stand there and solo tank the bosses. Now, I was tanking bosses in Frost spec, and I don't mean I was going in, I was queuing as a tank and then tanking in Frost spec. I mean the tank was dying because he was wearing cloth or greens or whatever the cheapest was on the auction house, and queuing as a bloody key roll. Do it as DPS, mate. And then I'd just be tanking the boss in Frost. Which is very frustrating because you only play Frost as a change, not because you want to be tanking. So yeah, strange days. But we'll go with this character until we get the next accidental kill. There's always the chance that what we could do is turn challenge into max gathering professions. So basically just go from 0 from 1 to max expansions. I just don't think it's as difficult as the Pacifist challenge. Like the Pacifist, like it's not difficult running around searching for Briarthorn and I don't know why it's taking so long. Like the challenge is the not killing of the things, and the challenge is getting dazed while you're trying to run away, and the challenge is not having vanish at low levels, the challenge is not having sap. I suppose it would be a bigger challenge if it was hardcore. But I don't know about that. I'm very happy to test this stuff out, but I'm just doing something that I know at the moment. And you can see how often I've actually streamed this character. I don't get that much time. It's roughly once a fortnight maybe. And even then I tend to witter on a bit. Maybe we'll go somewhere else and get some different herbs. So this is another issue with current leveling, current WoW things. Retail versus classic versions. I can pick everything. Everything's orange. So Peace Bloom is still orange. Oh, Silverleaf is yellow, so that means Peace Bloom will be yellow. I'm not level 63 in this. Why didn't that change to normal? Classic. Classic. Kill mine. Mining is would be difficult actually to oh, this is the dead mines. Oh, okay. Why did I not know that? Why can't I fly? Just make sure that these are all yellow. It's a bit strange, the lore behind the Fire Brotherhood. I think some of them are good now, and they've been pardoned. Yeah, there you go. Some of them aren't. I'm not sure what the current law is for them. Have we killed Vanessa Van Cleave? I can't remember. Do I know where the ones are? Yeah, this is the dead lines, or can I? Ooh. Well, I can at least. Oh, fuck off. Bollocks to you. Go away. I can at least find some good ore in this. Do you think my baby's awake now? You awake, baby? Is there some more stuck in there, or is it up the top? I think that's right at the very entrance. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm more worried about whether my baby's awake or not. Because if she is, ooh, got brainwashed. No. Okay. See, that's where sap, having sap will come in handy. Ooh, a tin vein. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these 3 last nodes, and then I'm going to go and actually check on my daughter, because I can hear her moving around. What's that all about? With the being attacked, by the way, if you face them, you can parry and dodge and block. Well, I don't think rogues can block, but they can definitely dodge and parry. So it looks like I've stood there, letting them hit me. Oh, look at that. There is the thing. Now, is she going to come back after me? How long does that long last for? Another 20 seconds. Not going to know. But we are going to use sprint. If she comes after me, or I get hit by that, or I get tagged by that, we can always sprint to the dead man's entrance over there. Yeah, historically I'm a horde player, so that was underneath. That thing you lied. I'm not as up in my alliance lore as I am my horde lore. And to be fair, I'm not hugely current with my horde lore either. The alliance lore that I know is probably, or the best is the fuck. Well, that's, what are you lot doing here? Maybe that's some lore that we need to look into. Why are there undead ghouls in the Deadlands? Right, do I? The Awakening Machine? That's not. Here's a tip for hardcore players though, if you go into a cave like we have now, do your objective and half out. Don't fuck around. Dun, dun, dun. Do we have to go past that noble? I didn't think that we had to go past that noble. Do we get a movement speed increase from being stealth? We do. So we should be stealth all the time. Am I out? Oh no. Where's your mommy and daddy? So I think the lore of the Defiance Brotherhood is that they were the Guild of Masons in Strongwood City, and big destruction came, and they rebuilt the city, and then didn't get paid for it. They caused a lot of chaos, got kicked out of the city, and became the Brotherhood. I think that was under Earthen. We go in as heroes, and of course kill the troublemaker, leaving their debts still unpaid. The Defiance Brotherhood gets to now has a grudge, a second grudge against Stormwind, particularly the group of adventurers. Kind of like, yeah, get it? I understand. I don't know what Cookie's doing in there though. Do we know the lore of Cookie? Maybe that's something I need to look up as well. Ah, there's so much stuff we can do. Sadly, none of it is related to the game. So, I'm going to head back over here. This is the weird end, isn't it? So, oh, Rips now. Isn't he from the, oh, he is from the Dead Mines, yeah. He's one of the bosses in the Dead Mines. I've got nothing to sell. 3 copper repair. We probably want to actually go back to Stormwind. Oh, that's a difficult one. I'm going to go for fleet-footed because I'd rather be quick and not get caught in the first place. Grappling hook, that's what we need. Shadow step, maximum range. Don't need Shuriken Storm. Do Shuriken Storm increases your movement speed? Oh, that's after it's struck enemies. Okay, so next time we log on will be probably outside the auction house. I'm going to whack these bags full of things on the auction house, and then surprised the baby is awake. Okay, she's quiet for a second. She's sat there. When I get time to auction the stuff. Ooh, there we go. I would say, why do we not put it in for the thing? Sell it for what it's worth. It'll get picked up by a flipper. So I'm not worried about 7 silver per. 138 is perfectly fine. Could put it in for there. Dropping 6 gold. Not really worried about that. Chances of us selling it for that amount is negligible because we've got these people here who're picking up, like loads of people putting copper on. Ooh, surprised that these are selling for as much as they are. Do we put it on for that? Yes, we do. What's the difference? Like 7 gold. But you're, with there only being 20 there, you're more guaranteed to sell it over the other one. Same again with this one here. I could actually buy those and then put all of those on the auction house. Difference is negligible. I'm not really bothered too much. So really what we're doing here is we're being cheeky. Cheeky. 47 gold for some rough stone. Don't mind if I don't. 11 gold. That's a well, I could have put it on. Yeah, I should really have put it on for 250. Never mind. Somebody's going to get a good deal. 298. That's not really much difference. Here do we go? No, I'd rather go for the guaranteed sale. Crikey, that's quite low. I mean, actually, it might not be considering. I don't know what today's prices are. Do we care about gold? No. So somebody's going to get a good deal there. You're welcome to it, flippers. So that's 5 gold per strangle kelp. So I'm going to put those on for that. And then I really want to go and pick up my baby because I'm not really bothered about a couple of silvers. I'm going to put that on there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to read this. And then, oh, that's cataclysm cooking. We can get off to a good start on there. I don't know where oh no, there, and that's the war bank, isn't it? We can't use the war bank. Can we use the war bank? Is it in the war bank? Access to the war bank on this character, despite the fact that this character is not in the war band. Yes. Okay, so I need to figure out. I don't want to share it with the war band, do I? That's going to make life a bit more difficult later. Will it make it difficult? Oh, well, if we're talking meat and stuff like that. Because that's obviously in the war bank. Though I can't see it in the war bank. Should be here. Ah, there it is. Yeah, so that's war band stuff. Rightio then. I might just go and take all the meat out and have it on a character, on a single character, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. When did I get that well fed buff? Good. And I need to go. enjoy, have fun.